in there. If you can lean in like a little bit, just think about that while it's going. Otherwise, we are. That's already going. Go live right now. Here we go. And it makes noise as well.
Keep your hands up, table.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Always, I get it.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. Welcome to episode 28. We have Dan Uccello as a special guest.
I know his credentials,
Yes.
so I'm curious if you could list them off real quick, because I have to introduce him like real big.
I was gonna say Dan, jump into it. I was gonna say Dan, perfect time. Introduce yourself, throw out some branding, everything, man. Go for it.
So I switched that up though. What I did now, it's like I'm just like, hey, welcome back, episode whatever. I'm Chris Hicks. There's a lot of new viewers, I'm sure, who are not gonna know, and they're gonna be like, what is this show even about? So we're the Grand App Show. What we're doing is bringing on local talent, local entrepreneurs, other business owners, and even to people climbing, in their field. So we're not limiting it to just business owners and entrepreneurs. But yeah, that's who we're bringing on. We're talking about their keys to success, their stories, and kind of getting some feedback. But today's a very special episode. We got a guy here who would just celebrate his 7th anniversary.
Sixth.
Sixth? You're going on 6?
Yeah.
I thought you were a year ahead of us.
No, we started the same year.
After all that crap I just gave Brandon.
By becoming not prepared, I was more prepared. At least I didn't slip up.
Yeah, he just won Best Pizza in the United States. He competed over in Italy, crushed it. He's on the USA Pizza team. He's got 3 locations here. He does a lot of other things as well. Welcome, man.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. And you could give your more formal introduction to everybody.
Yeah, my name is Dan Uccello. I own Flo's Collection. Flo's Collection is an umbrella company for our pizzeria brand, our sports bar brand, and our catering company. We have 2 sports bar locations, one in Belmont, Michigan, one in Greenville, Michigan. And we have a pizzeria in Grand Rapids. It's on Plainfield Avenue, Plainfield and 5 Mile area. And our catering company is located in Holland, Michigan, south side of Holland on Lincoln Avenue.
So that's what we got. So segueing into the show, what I do want to start talking about is just entrepreneurship. Because when you came in, we started talking about where you were from. I didn't even know where you started before you started. So starting out, so what made you take that leap to start your own?
I wanted to be my own boss, first of all. I worked for family most of my life, but just wanted to be my own boss and wanted the success that my dad, the rest of my family has had, and then looking at the outsiders too and seeing their success. I just wanted it, so I just went out and did it.
Working with family, curious, right?
Oh, that's, yeah.
Very curious because
We're kind of family.
Right? We are family, best friends for I don't know how long. So we consider ourselves family. Our parents are very close, all this and that, grandmothers, everything. And we always kind of talk about like working with best friends, how people say, don't do it. And then obviously with family, they say, don't do it. So what's been your experience? Obviously you guys done great, so it worked out for you. But
in the context that he's partners with his brother.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Working with family has never really been an issue. Growing up, my dad was super tough on us when it came to work, and we kind of hated it. But
yes.
When we got older, we look back and I'm really thankful that he was that hard on us. I mean, we got to learn a ton, and we did it the right way. There was no shortcuts. Mm-hmm. So if he wasn't that tough on us, we probably wouldn't be here today.
What are some tough things? I'm curious, man. What are some tough things?
Tough things, trying to, let's say, in the cooking, let's say in the kitchen, you're trying to cut a corner of how to cut this tomato, right? You're maybe find a faster way of doing it, or maybe just a little bit bigger than it should be, but you're like, no one will notice. That wasn't flying with my dad.
Right.
You do it right the first time, and you just keep moving. So those are just the little things. The little things in business make the big things happen.
Absolutely.
Speaking of this perfect transition, the big things, because I was actually going to ask you this question. I haven't asked this to anybody yet on the show, and I kind of struggle with this too. When did you start thinking really big? Like how did you get there? Because there's a lot of restaurants who are just, single small shop. They're cool with a couple employees. They do it themselves. It's a lifestyle business. Like you're building.
Yeah, we were about 2 years into it, and after our first location, which is the Belmont store, and me and my brother looked at each other, and David was actually still going through college at the time when we opened up our first location. So I was really in charge of a lot of things at first, but when he stepped in after college, he really brought a whole different knowledge. Like I had the everyday knowledge of how to cook, how to make people happy, service standards, blah blah. But David brought in his college education into it, which opened up my world.
So it's a little more business.
Yeah.
Like bringing how to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he looked at me and he said, if we not only simplify things, but can put structure and procedures together, we can grow this as big as we want to. And when he really started showing me a lot of that stuff is when it really started clicking in, and I'm like, dude, we can literally multiply these stores one by one by one. It's not going to be overnight or over a year, but we can do it. So after about 2 years, we started going after it, and we've developed a book that is about that thick now with every single procedure and standard with our company that at any time a manager or an employee can open up and say, oh, that's how you set a table.
How many employees do you have?
We're up to 200 employees now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's times, I'm sure people watch it, there's times you got like 11, you're like, whoa.
Right.
But 200, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So props to that though.
Thank you. Not all full time, a lot of part time because of serving and
Yeah.
hostess, and so on. But yeah. It's cool.
So I'm curious. I don't even know. Like Flo's collection, he mentioned all the different, different styles of restaurants you have. How long did it take you? You started with one, and then to get the second, the third. What was like, that time span in between? And did it come quicker? How did you? I guess talk about scalability. And
Yeah.
When did you know it was right to
And
actually?
maybe give advice too, like
Right.
to someone to do it faster.
You'll never know if it's the right time. You just have to take that leap and do it. So after 4 years in business is when our parents didn't want the pizzeria anymore, and that's the Grand Rapids location. Pizzeria, takeout, that delivery, that's about it. And we took it on, and that was 2014, I believe. And we took on the pizzeria, and we just started working at it one piece at a time. Started going through every single number, every single recipe, procedure, everything that was in there, and we made it very, very successful. Within the first 6 months, we were able to turn a place that was not profitable to one of the most profitable that we have. And then in 2015, we started a catering company. The catering company got started because I was about to get married, and
You want a free catering?
I was gonna say.
no, I didn't want a free catering, but I saw when I'm shopping these catering companies to cater my wedding, I'm looking at their prices and I'm like, huge opportunity here. So after we got married, we started immediately. Me and David started a catering company. We integrated it with our pizzeria on Plainfield because we were going to have a very low overhead. It was a starting point, so we remodeled that kitchen a little bit. We started going. Quickly became successful, and that's when we bought our Holland location. It was a couple that was retiring, and they wanted out, so we bought the building, we bought their business, we bought the trademarks, everything about the business, and then 2016, last year, we opened up our Greenville location, which wasn't planned for about 3 years before that.
It's like the biggest one too, right?
Yeah, it's
a lot one in that.
It's about 9,100 square feet. Seats almost 350 people. It's a huge store. I mean, you just got to see it to believe it.
I'm curious with a lot of the restaurant industry. What's some current trends you're noticing right now? There's a lot going out of business. There's some coming up. Where do you see that shift?
People are really looking. They're starting to understand quality of both food and service. So. For a while there, when the economy crashed and it was still coming up, a lot of people lost their jobs, so they're buying your $5 pizza. Those are not
not
days.
Dropping names though, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Charles,
Put it right there.
Some kind of song.
So now people are understanding quality and fresh ingredients, and they want that. They no longer want a cheap pizza. They want a good pizza. They're willing to pay the price, and they want quality. So. The biggest trend right now is been modern, good quality food.
Which you've been doing from day one, so.
Yep.
And I think that's why you're winning. Because I see like a lot of places going out of business. Like What are the biggest chains going out? What are they? There's two of them I think that are just like every day I open my newsfeed up, it's like an article about them. Like I don't know, I don't want to name them, but
yeah, I can
you
think of a
get
couple.
like Applebee's. You know, I'm gonna throw some shade on the wrong one, but it's just like I don't know. But no, yeah, that's interesting. You know, one thing I was thinking about though, I think everybody should work in the service industry for 1 month. Hands down.
Yeah.
At least when you're out, like.
It gives you a different outlook.
Yes,
on so many things. Not just when you go out to dine, but just customer service in general, appreciating every detail that goes into whether it's a dish or the quality of service. I mean, there's a lot of. You were a server. How much?
7 years, man.
Steps of services. Like. People don't know that. I mean, most people that go out to eat have no idea that you literally almost have a script that you're following.
Yep.
You know what I mean? For every
2 minute
single thing.
refills,
Exactly.
3 second check back, 2 minute check processing, and that's the hardest one. Like for me, the hardest one, but it's a little more lenient, was I don't know if you're part of it, Charles, but the check processing. So as soon as it would go down where I was at, you had 2 minutes to process it. And actually, back in my day, because I'm an old timer, there was a lot of cash, right? So it's like, man, like I do simple math, and I'm like,
that's right.
Yeah, there was a lot of cash. I mean,
true.
there was a lot. There was like 50-50. It was cash versus
How
card.
many times did you give away the wrong change?
All the time. I probably lost a ton of money off that. I was like, I don't know. And then it was hard too. One time the power went out, so we got those like really old, those things,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how do you do this? I paid someone to do it. I was like, okay, $5, like,
just
process all my cards. I can't. Yeah, I can't. No, I think everybody should do that for at least 1 month, 100%. I get. You know what? I'm curious. What's one thing that you struggled with early on in business? You wish you would have known about.
Probably the biggest thing, honestly, was you're starting a new business, and when you're employing, each one of our sports bars employs anywhere from 60 to 70 people. There's a lot of laws behind that, and we couldn't afford an attorney at the time. We couldn't afford very good accountants or CPAs. So we made a lot of mistakes. We had to go back and forth, and we learned from every single mistake. It was never looked at like this is bad. It was looking at a learning curve and say, hey, we didn't know any better. We really had nobody to tell us that we had to do it this way.
Better go quick though. Yeah. Instead of just wait, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my God, I started the business, I don't know every law yet.
Yeah. I mean, we studied as much as we could. We would try to make as many phone calls to the connections that we had. But at the end of the day, you're not going to know it all. I mean, to this day, I don't know it all.
Did you have any failures?
I know I'm a call though now.
Was there a pizza you put out there that just did terrible?
No, what's the worst
you start
one?
a location
What's
and
the
then
worst
2 weeks
one?
like, what's the biggest failure that you're not that embarrassed about to put out there? Everybody has them, right?
I don't really like to look at them as they were failures, but they were more or less our clientele wasn't educated. To a lot of these things, and we don't have the power that a national franchise does. That if we launch a new item, we can go on TV, radio, now social media, and just promote the crap out of this thing, and make them believe that it's the best thing that they've ever had. We couldn't do that. So a perfect example is cannoli. So we put cannolis on the menu when we first opened, and nobody had any idea what they were.
I don't know what
So it's a Sicilian dessert. It's filled with ricotta.
You've seen them.
I'm sure I have. Okay.
So complete failure. Nobody had any idea. They would look at the picture and be like, "No way." And arancini was the other one. Arancini, another Sicilian.
I know what that is.
You do.
Because when we were having there was a soft launch kind of, and somebody came up.
Yeah.
One of his staff, and they're brand new, right? New location. It's a lot of training. I get it. I learned menus too before, and he was getting a bunch of food for us to try, and he's like, let's get some arancini. He's like, tell us what it is. And I asked her, I said, what is it? Because he told me before. And she's like, oh, it's kind of like a meatball and something like that. And he was just kind of quiet with a straight face, and I looked at him. He's like that, and I was like, no, it's a rice ball. Yeah. That's right.
It is. It's a rice ball.
I'm gonna remember that forever now.
So those were like two of the biggest failures, and nobody had any idea. And over the last 5-6 years, bigger companies start launching them. They're starting to understand again.
Who was one of the first ones to do arancini? You've noticed?
Olive Garden.
Really?
Yeah.
Arancini is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah,
I love it.
And so they launched them. Next thing you know, our sales are huge on them. They're one of our top sellers. Cannolis. the same exact thing. So what we did to pick up the cannoli sales, we started giving them out on your birthday.
Yeah.
So if it was your birthday, you got a free, and so I'm like, that's the only way to get them to try, if I give it to them for free for a cause.
You ain't sweet for free.
And that worked. Now cannoli and arancini, cannoli #1 selling dessert, and arancini #1 selling appetizer.
So that's a great little tip right there. They just helped everybody.
But that was like his biggest his biggest learning, right? Almost like the failure, and flipped it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to do that. You got to look at everything positive and say, how can you, or if it's a negative, how can you make it into a positive? I mean, if you have a
right there, positivity.
That's right. If you just sit there and complain, what good is it going to do to you?
Man,
I mean,
I
just
try to get so
flip the page, and start fresh and say, all right, how can we make it better?
You just gotta get so busy, you have no time to complain.
Right, exactly.
Like you're complaining about you don't have enough time.
That's my biggest complaint. We just talked about that.
Like I don't have enough time, man. Like I can't do this. Like like I've been.
It's a good problem to have.
That is a phenomenal problem to have. So what's I like to ask this. You know why? Because I'll take this like clip and I'll clip it up for like social media pieces. Key to success that you found.
Love what you do and work hard. I mean, you have to have dreams, and you just have to follow your dreams. And really, that's the biggest thing. And you have to really believe in what that dream is. And although at times you might not seem that it's very realistic to reach that dream, they are. They're all possible. And you just have to work really hard every day. You have to get up and don't do it for the money. Do it because it's your dream. If you do it for the money, you'll be out of business and moved on within the first 6 months.
And that's funny too, man. Like I just had this like epiphany come over me. I really did. And so think about, you're on social media, right? And you're looking at all these guys, and they're like, hey, let me teach you how to start a business and how to do this, right? We're sitting with somebody who is very successful, he does a lot, right? Successful, maybe not to his standard, because he's never going to be satisfied, but very successful, right? And his biggest success tip: love what you do, work harder, right? Like the cliche things. It's true though, right? It's not about some secret.
It's not rock science. You know, you have to do the basic. The basic is you have to work hard at whatever it is. You know, you can't just go in and expect somebody to hand you a pocket full of cash and you're good every day. It just doesn't happen.
Really?
You know, you got to go in, you got to work for it. There's going to be great days, there's going to be tough days, there's going to be days that you made money, there's going to be days that you lost money, but it's all about the focus. And if you're focused on your dream, you'll do fine.
100%. Brandon, what do you think?
I agree. Crazy thing is, once you get to that dream, for one, like you mentioned, you will, once you're in this field, once you're an entrepreneur or whatever, you start something, you're getting it to where you want it to be, you're never going to be satisfied. But once you do get to that dream, or where you, maybe step one, we're gonna look back, and you're gonna be like, that was easy. Yeah. You're gonna look back, and I'm here, right? And then you're gonna shift your goal, maybe go for something higher, whatever wherever you're at in your life. But once you get there, you're gonna be like, I can do it. I made it. You know, let's on to the next one. So I concur, man, 100%. For sure.
Unless you're like those big chains and complacent, and then you just. That's what I think. I think if you're never stagnant. I think if you're always like this, right? Or you're like that. Yeah. See, I had to angle it for the camera so they know, right? Otherwise, I'm like this. Like, what is he doing, right? That's a little stuff you got to keep in mind for the content.
For the camera,
you're doing that. No, that's good, man. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience?
No, not really. I mean, really, the key to success was the biggest thing that I really wanted to say to people that are out there and have a dream and are maybe afraid to start it. Go start it, even if you start in your basement. You know, whatever that may be.
Started.
Right.
Oh, we both went back and forth that one time.
I remember. Yeah, exactly. I remember. The first office that we had, and in our first restaurant, it was a cardboard box.
Yep.
I couldn't afford a desk.
Yep.
So do whatever it takes to do it, and don't be ashamed of it. Go out there, make yourself, approachable with people, and just go get it.
The only time in my life I can now say I've been ahead of Dan Uccello is I had a desk before he did.
That's very true.
I had a desk, but it was broken and it wiggled a little bit, and he had a cardboard box.
Yeah.
I got it. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, look, 6 o'clock. He's coming on the show, right? He's doing marketing for his brand, for his business. He's got a lot of other things to do. Charles is here. Charles is shooting. We shot 3 back to back because Charles has to leave, and we're doing what it takes, right? Like Megan came in yesterday, and they were here at 7:30. It was a couple starting a business, right? And they're 6 months in. They drove from Whirlpool, which is in St. Joe, all the way to come out here to do a show, talk about it. And I'm sure they had to change, right? And get their mind right and get all pumped up for the show. Come in, they're a little nervous, but like doing what it takes, right? Like little stuff like that. All I've had the past 48 hours was this. That's it. Like they love me. Go Java's like, oh my God, you're my favorite, Chris. Like, thank you so much. But
they have a punch card.
No, they do have one. You gotta buy it in advance though.
One, yeah.
Oh.
But I should just get it. I should just get it because I don't know. I go there all. I mean, when our coffee's out, we go right to Go Java. And they know. They go, oh, your coffee's out because they see it.
Everybody's
all
rolling
We
through.
should get a couple, like a free week for this because we're putting them on blast. Go Java. If you're watching, Kelly,
Put it on there. So awesome, man! Thank you for stopping by. That's all we got, guys.
Appreciate
Episode 28. We're out. See you in 29.
See you guys.
I'm gonna let you start the show, Brandon.
Me? All right, maybe.